Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today is the 30th of May, and the plants I want to talk today, actually the plant that I am presenting is the Persian Buttercup, also called Asian Buttercup, Ranunculus asiaticus. This is a species that comes in a wide variety of shapes and colors. However, I will start with an overview of the genus Ranunculus. The genus Ranunculus is a genus of about 600 species in the family Ranunculaceae. The family itself is a huge family and includes species as diverse as the clematices of the genus Clematis, the larkspurs of the genus Delphinium, the monkshoods of the genus Aconitum, the Talictrums, the hellebores of the genus Helleborus, the anemones of the genus Anemone, the columbines of the genus Aquilegia, and of course the buttercups of the genus Ranunculus. There are, as I said, incredible variety of species in the genus Ranunculus. Most of them are terrestrials, but some others are aquatic. For example, Ranunculus aquatilis, that is the water crowfoot that is actually quite common in the United Kingdom, as well as in many parts of Europe, as well as North America. Weeds, also some weeds belong to the genus Ranunculus, including the buttercup, the famous buttercup, the very common and familiar flower, this weed that basically tends to invade allotments and gardens, and has this kind of parsley-like leaves on which the waxy, beautiful actually they are beautifully waxy flowers, very shiny, as you can see, and they are actually the typical flower of Ranunculus. This is actually a range. The typical flower of Ranunculus is 5-petaled, and the sepals are these greenish and hairy structures here below, and inside the flower there are there is the male part of the flowers, constituted by the anthers that produce the pollen, and this green central part that is basically the female part of the flower and produces the seeds, basically, once pollination is successful. Actually, you can see even better here in this red Asian buttercup the structure of the flower. I am sorry that part of the petal has been probably damaged, not sure if by the wind or by the slugs, because the slugs are really fond of Ranunculus, even if he is poisonous to most mammals, including livestock and humans. So you can see in this red buttercup the pollen here, the anthers of the pollen. In this case the pollen is black. You can see some of the pollen that was splashed out yesterday in the rain here, while the female part is also black, but is basically this cone in the middle. This is also, you can see as well here, the structures of the flower. The female part is is the yellow green at the center, surrounded by the yellow anthers with the yellow pollen in this outer circle. The common buttercups, as well as many other Ranunculus species, are perennials, but some species are annual or biennial. And in most buttercups, especially in the common buttercup, the wild buttercup, the flowers are very shiny because the surface of the petal is very smooth, and these flashes of light actually seem to attract pollinators. The name Ranunculus the scientific name of the genus Ranunculus come from the Latin name of little frog, and this is due to the fact that many species live close to the water. However, many others are terrestrial and really don't like soggy conditions, like for example the ornamental Asian buttercups, like these two in front of me. The common name buttercup seems to have arisen by the fact that cows, livestock grazing grass in the field often was seen eating close to the buttercups, and some people thought that the yellow of the flower gave the yellow color to the butter. However, this is certainly not true, because the buttercups, especially the boiled cup buttercup, is poisonous, so livestock cows eat them only out of out of desperation, and definitely is not a plant that is recommended to feed to livestock. The buttercups have a wide range of distribution. There are several species in Europe as well as in other parts of the world. However, the most commonly cultivated as ornamental is the Persian buttercup, the Ranunculus asiaticus. Ranunculus asiaticus, known as Persian buttercup or Asian buttercup, comes from the eastern part of the Mediterranean, so would be Southeast Europe, Western Asia, and the eastern part of North Africa. It is a plant that can grow up to 45 centimeters tall, and you can see actually in the pots where I have this kind of habit. The leaves are parsley-like, a little bit actually like the wild buttercup indeed, to which the species is related. They're ornamental in their own, on their own. I believe I like this finely divided foliage, and is actually a nice vibrant green. However, of course, the buttercups, the Asian buttercup, is mostly cultivated for the gorgeous flowers. In the wild, the Asian buttercups flowers are basically simple flowers, a little bit like this one. This one was a variety that was supposed to be double, because most of the varieties of the Asian buttercups are double. Very rarely there are single flower, but I am actually quite glad I have here single flower, because you can see how big it is in comparison to the double flower varieties, and I absolutely love the color. Also, pollinators likes a lot better single flowers or maximum partially double flower like this one, because it is easier to reach the nectaries of the flower. The nectaries of the flower are close to the petal in buttercups, and therefore they are more functional as for pollination, and obviously for eating the to allow the insects to access the nectar of the flower. The flower of the wild buttercup usually are red, like this one, but can be also yellow or white. However, in cultivation, several varieties have been selected with really a rainbow of colors, including mauve, purple, orange, and you can see here an orange one, but also very peculiar shades such as chocolate or kind of cappuccino, beige, or also bicolor, like showing one color in most of the petals, but the margins of the petals with another color. And again, usually the most of the varieties selected for cultivation are double, like this flower. Probably because, of course, double flowers seem usually bigger, and most people are more attracted by bigger flower. But I still think that the single flowers have their own attractiveness, definitely. And also, again, if you are thinking also of two insects pollinator, put in your garden mostly, if you can't really put them all single flower species and single flower varieties, because these are the ones really that help pollinators. The species, the Asian Buttercup, really like well-drained soil and full sun. The Persian Buttercup grows from bulbs. I'm not sure if you call them bulbs or corms. Most of the sources I found, they call them bulbs. And basically they look like a clawed hand or like a clawed pole. Basically the claws of this bulb, they need to be they need to go downwards. So put the claws, it's like basically they vaguely look like a hand. So you have to plant them in the ground like this. So with the claws, with the fingers of the claws downwards, about 5 centimeters deep. And really buttercups are winter growers, but in the UK as well as in many other European countries, winter can be quite cold, and there's been found that the bulbs tend to rot quite easily. So in cold and temperate climates that tend to have frost or also very humid winters, is more recommendable to plant the Ranunculus bulbs in spring after the last frost, so they will be able to grow without the danger of frost. The plants are supposed to be hardy between USDA zones 8 and 10, and the part of the UK where I live in USDA 8. However, the problem with USDA 8, at least where I live in the central part of Kent, is that for a few days in winter we can have snow and rain and icy conditions, and when the ranunculus starts growing, really the very tender sprouting leaves can be damaged by this cold temperature. So what I usually do for ranunculus is, in winter I try to keep them in my unheated greenhouse, so it is a closed environment, and bubble wrap keeps it a little bit warmer than the environment outside. Very rarely the temperature goes below 0 in my unheated greenhouse, and also they don't water the pots at all in winter, so the bulbs stay dry, and this basically helps a lot. Another option is lifting the bulbs in winter if you live in a cold climate area, and they will you keep them in a frost-free area, and then you plant them in the spring. Again, after the danger of frost has passed. However, sometimes it's a bit difficult to dig out the bulbs from the soil, because can be they are quite delicate ranunculus bulbs. So I would probably recommend you, if you live in an area quite cold as mine, plant them in pots and then lift them when sorry, not lift them, because you might damage actually the bulbs. Just bring the pots in a frost-free environment for the winter when the plants go dormant, and then bring them out in spring. And if in this, for example, in an internet greenhouse, the leaves still sprout in winter due to the fact that the greenhouse is not as cold as outside, and is not as is definitely not at risk of too much rain or soggy soil. Even if the leaves sprout in winter, and the plants will not be damaged by cold temperature. The main damage to Persian buttercups instead are snails and slugs, because I had some buttercups I planted that were completely eaten in winter and spring by snails. So these here are the only 2 surviving plants of a group of 10 plants I had, and well, luckily at least these are really beautiful flowers, but I'm very sorry I have only 2. Here instead there is I bought only one, and this is still the one I had. This one was almost completely eaten when I planted. Then I put some grit on the top to protect against slugs, and I have to say that it kind of functioned with the it actually worked out against snails and slugs, because the plant luckily recovered, and you can see how beautiful the blooms are. About the varieties available, in the on the market. There's so many varieties. This one I bought it on clearance, was just like £2 for £1.50 or £2 for a bunch of 10 Ranunculus, and was labeled just as Ranunculus red. And well, you can see on the picture it was a double flower variety. Anyway, as you know, I actually quite like the single flower variety. I have to say it's absolutely gorgeous, even the single flower. But of course, the double flower also has its own appealing, and trying to focus here on the double flower as well. It is really a really stunning red, and the red buttercup, the red Asian buttercup, is one of the most common colors available anyway on the market. Again, usually they come double. This instead is quite an unusual variety, and this is called Rococo Orange. I'm trying to focus on the label now. I hope that you can read it. I bought it from a nursery that now I don't remember the name, but I write it in the description. This plant is a little bit taller than usual. It can reach 60 centimeters. However, as you can see, at the moment it's as tall as the other Asian buttercup. But this Rococo Orange is peculiar in that as the flowers are semi-double, not double. You can see that it doesn't have just 5 petals. However, you can clearly see that the stamens and the ovaries are still visible. The carpels where the ovaries are still visible. So the flower is definitely more accessible to the insects than the double flower variety. And also the Rococo Orange is supposed to be a new variety that is winter hardy. Again, England is USDA 8, so theoretically is still in the hardiness zone of the Ranunculus, but I think that England is a lot wetter than many other countries in winter in the USDA zone 8. Remember, the USDA zones were mostly work in continental climates, like indeed the USA, where the USDA zone was developed, where the USDA zone was system was developed. England is a more maritime climate because it's an island, so it tends to be a lot wetter than continental USA anyway, and this affects plants that need well-drained soil and ideally drier conditions in winter. However, according to the description of the plant, this is a ranunculus that should be hardy outdoors all year round. I bought it at the end of winter, and I kept this plant outdoors all the time and it was fine. However, I didn't kept this plant the whole year round outdoors. I will do it this year, and of course I will keep you updated about the results. But according to the information I have, this is a plant that should be hardy all year round. And finally, as I love red and as I would like to have hardy buttercups, let's try to pollinate the flowers. So I get some pollen. There is some pollen splashed on the petal of the flower. Anyway, I passed my brush, and you can see on the brush that is a little bit black. Is a bit hard to focus here, but on my camera hopefully here you will see yes, you can vaguely see this end that is kind of blackish purple. So this is the pollen of the ranunculus, of the red ranunculus, and I will put it on the carpel of the flower, trying to pollinate it. I'm sorry that it is a little bit difficult to see. I will keep you updated about the pollination. If the pollination will be successful, it will develop a fruit called achene, and then will obviously produce the seeds. Then Again, I will make hopefully a video about my experiment in pollinating Asian buttercups, and maybe developing a hardy variety that is red and not just orange. I try to pollinate now this flower as well. Hope to have some good results, and well, let's see if I can back cross the orange with the red. Can't really see any pollen going, but well, we will see if the pollination will be successful or not. If it will be successful, of course, I will keep you updated. Again, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. And sorry, I forgot one very important thing. The Ranunculus goes dormant in summer and early autumn. So please bear in mind, obviously, that this might leave gaps in your garden or pots. And if it's in a pot, it doesn't really mind. It's not a problem. You can keep it aside out of view of your guest in the garden. If it's in a garden, remember to plant to have plants around that can fill the gap left in summer by this plant. Remember, in nature this plant actually is a winter grower, so usually it grows between autumn, winter and spring, but again in the UK it's mostly grown as a spring plant, and still will go in dormancy in late summer anyway. Sorry, I would say in midsummer, not in late summer. However, I think that is such a beautiful flower that I really recommend you to have a go. Of course, you can plant it just as an annual if you don't care much about what happens to the bulbs after the blooming, but well, anyway, I will try experimenting the developing of the mixing, the crossing, the hybridizing of these two varieties, and I hope to keep you updated with the successful pollination and some seed production. As usual, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, it would be great if you can please give it a thumbs up, and if you like this video and the other videos on my channel, it would be great if you can please subscribe in order to support my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.